In a culture where same-sex love is considered taboo, Kelechi wrestles with his desires and the consequences of crossing boundaries he's not supposed to. But Lao, as it always does, refuses to be silenced. The village of Oloa bustled with life under the golden embrace of the afternoon sun. Kelechi stood beneath the massive baobab tree, a spot he and Ikenna had claimed as their secret haven since they were boys. He glanced nervously at his hands, his heart thundering as Ikenna approached, his laughter carrying in the warm breeze. "Why do you always look like you are planning something under this tree?" Ikenna teased, clapping Kelechi on the shoulder. Kelechi smiled weakly. It wasn't the first time his heart raced in Ikenna's presence, but it was the first time he felt unable to hide it. "How's Ada?" Kelechi asked, forcing his voice to remain steady. "She's fine. A little clingy these days, though," Ikenna replied, rolling his eyes. "You know how she gets." Kelechi nodded, the mention of Ada stinging more than it should. Ada wasn't the problem. The problem was that Kelechi wished Ikenna would look at him the way he looked at her. Later that evening, as the village bonfire lit up the night sky, Kelechi and Ikenna sat together, their laughter mingling with the crackle of the flames. Ikenna leaned closer, his shoulder brushing Kelechi's. "Do you ever think about leaving Oloa?" Ikenna asked suddenly. "Sometimes," Kelechi admitted. "But this place is home, you know." Ikenna nodded. "Yeah, but sometimes it feels suffocating." Kelechi's breath hitched. Was it just him, or did those words mean something more? Weeks passed, and Kelechi could no longer contain his feelings. One night, as they walked back from the stream, he stopped abruptly. "Ikenna, I need to tell you something," he began, his voice trembling. "What is it?" Ikenna asked, concern etched across his face. Kelechi struggled to find the words. I think I feel something for you. Something more than friendship." Silence stretched between them. The moon cast its silver glow over Ikenna's stunned expression. "Kelechi," Ikenna started, his voice barely above a whisper. "You know this isn't allowed." "I know," Kelechi said quickly. "But I can't help it. I've tried, I swear, but..." Ikenna cut him off by pulling him into a tight hug. For a moment, Kelechi's world tilted. One stormy night, while the rain drummed on the roof of Kelechi's hut, Ikenna showed up drenched and breathless. "I couldn't stop thinking about what you said," he confessed, his voice shaking. Before Kelechi could respond, Ikenna closed the distance between them, their lips meeting in a kiss that was hesitant at first but quickly deepened. When they finally pulled apart, Ikenna whispered, "I don't know what this means, but I can't lose you." Kelechi stepped forward and gently cupped Ikenna's face in his hands. "And I can't hold it back anymore," Kelechi whispered before leaning in and pressing his lips against Ikenna's. A jolt of electricity shot through Ikenna's body at the touch of Kelechi's lips on his own. All of the emotions that he had been keeping bottled up for so long came rushing to the surface, and he kissed Kelechi back with a desperate hunger. "Kelechi," Ikenna gasped, "I need you." Kelechi looked up at Ikenna with dark, lust-filled eyes and nodded. Without another word, he took Ikenna's hand and led him to the bedroom. The next morning, as sunlight streamed through the window, they lay side by side on Kelechi's mat, their fingers intertwined. "We can't let anyone know," Ikenna said, his voice heavy with guilt. "I know," Kelechi replied, though the thought of hiding their love weighed heavily on him. Their secret meetings became both their solace and their torment. Each kiss, each touch, was a rebellion against the traditions that bound them. But rumors began to spread, and the village elders grew suspicious. One fateful day, they were summoned to stand before the council. Accusations flew, and Kelechi took the blame, declaring that his feelings were one-sided. Ikena's eyes brimmed with tears as he watched his best friend sacrifice. But in that moment, he realized he could no longer live a lie. "I love him," Ikena said, his voice breaking. "And if that's a crime, then punish us both." The villagers' reaction was divided. Some called for their banishment, while others began to question the fairness of the tradition. In the end, Kelechi and Ikena left Oloa, hand in hand, determined to build a life where their love wasn't forbidden. As they walked away from the village, the baobab tree stood tall behind them, a silent witness to a love that defied all odds.